Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Back in 2005, Breguet launched La Tradition, a line of watches designed to combine some of the essential design features of the most memorable Breguet-era pocket watches with a wristwatch format, and it has proved to be remarkably enduring, beautifully made, and especially in its original 7027 form, beautifully sized. It is a universally appealing and universally underrated timepiece in the horlogerie selection. This is easily a qualitative peer with Holy Trinity and Lange, and also a rival with refreshing amounts of parts and service support to some of the chic independents. So let's consider what you get with the 7027. In white gold, as you see right here, 37 millimeters in diameter. The watch measures 12.1 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 45.4 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. You can see it does wear large because of the shape of the lugs, but still, I could recommend the watch for a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference and up. It is quite flat, and with the domed bezel, it'll slide underneath the cuff. 16 centimeter wrist, just so you can get your bearings, know exactly what you're looking at. It's a great fit. The strap is high grade. You can see rectangular symmetrical scale alligator leather, uncommonly in a variety of different sizes, from large to small rectangular, but they're very symmetrical scales from spot to spot. This is a high-grade cut of the animal. Just a little bit unusual to choose the transitional scale of scales, if you get my drift. It's an uncommon cut of the animal. Taking a look, matte black, there's a little bit of bolstering or stuffing, there's a monotone stitch, a folded edge, calfskin on the bottom, brand new Breguet factory strap, and a matching white gold pin buckle. You can see that the buckle is fit to the strap using screws and bars, and the strap is fit to the case using screws, bars, and then on the bottom of the lugs, secondary set screws, so that thing is staying there. I've seen disasters when spring bars get old or come undone. That doesn't happen with screws and bars. This is the right way to do it, and I'm glad to see Breguet doing it that way. The case is cold rolled and then hand finished in a jig to clean it up. It's a beautiful way of treating the case band. And then we have welded on lugs with the lugs welded into slots in the case flank, and then all of the gathered material from the welds removed by filing to create that super sharp break. It's very attractive. The mid-case defined by the overlapping flange of the bezel and the case back. Everything is polished. There's a little kerf underneath the crown so you can dig your nail in more easily to pull it out. And we get to the specific gold used. This is what's known as gray gold in the industry. It's a white gold that never needs to be rhodium plated. It's the same color all the way through. It's the good stuff. It's what you'll see at JLC, Grubel, Debatoon, Rolex, and many more. The dial is one and the same as the movement. This is the caliber 507DR. And we'll start from the dial. So this is a solid disc of 18 karat gold. It's cut on engines, so traditional reductive lathes, to create the patterns that you see there. Once the cutting is done by a guillocheur, then it is blackened with the silvered numerals added, including a watchmaker's Roman numeral 4. We have lovely matte finished silvered hands in Breguet style to match. You can see that there's a little engraved scale for the power reserve indicator, manual wind, 50 hours. The barrel gets pride of place in the center, and so this whole part from the barrel down is modeled after vintage Breguet pocket watches, which often used this arrangement. So the barrel sits at center, then you have the great wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, the escape wheel, and the anchor, plus a very modern free-sprung balance. You can see it features recessed gold screws that are used for all the fine timing adjustments. It's both a more shock-resistant setup than a traditional mobile stud index, but also one that allows for more precise regulation. You can also see we have a Breguet overcoil hairspring, and that allows the watch to keep consistent time in any physical position because the hairspring doesn't have a heavy side quite to the same extent that a flat hairspring would, so it breathes concentrically in every position. 3 hertz beat rate, and you can see that there is a version of Breguet's historic parachute shock protection. I am not 100% certain that what appears to be the shock protection spring actually is. I've heard rumors that these have an underlying conventional KIF Inca block or Etashock setting. But this is the form, it is a shock protected watch, make no mistake. And then this parachute system is the form that Breguet's pocket watch era shock protection mechanisms would have taken. And that was the first shock protection used on a watch historically. You can see it's beautifully decorated with satin on its top and then beveling on its sides. You can also see that the spokes of the wheels are in a form very similar to what you'd find on a pocket watch, and they are satinated across their top. The bridges and plates are peened. I have been advised by kind counsel that it is not a sandblast. I'm still working on determining whether it is hammer peening or shot peening. I actually have a question out to Breguet via their contact form on the website, so I'm going to find out, and I will update in the comments below if we find out definitively. Taking a quick look at the sides of these bridges, you can see an element of fine mirrored anglage to a degree you probably would not have found on a historic 18th or 19th century Breguet watch, but you can see that the beveling, the anglage that we expect on a modern watch is very much present. We also have locating pegs. You can see them on these bridges. They're used to locate bridges on substructures. They've been mirror polished on their tops, and all the screw heads have been mirror polished on their top. There's a lovely satination on the top of the wheels, but also on the barrel cover. Turn it all over. You can see the mechanism that underpins the power reserve indicator and how that functions. You can also see that we are 5-position adjusted, 34 jewel movement. We see that lovely engraved Breguet, and then a series of additional bridges that feature their own anglage, and it's probably easier to show you the mirrored anglage on this side. The watch is 30 meters water resistant, so you do not want to take it swimming, but note the perfect hand and glove fit between the size of the movement and the size of the watch. If you are a fully integrated manufacturer like Breguet now is under Swatch Group, you can do things like that, and it's a beautiful kind of symmetry. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.